zero expectation of us being worth a dollar, which, as a competitor, bugs me.
Arizona football is coming off a 4-8 campaign in Brent Brennan's first season.
When you go through a tough season like we did a year ago, you got to find a way to fix what was broken.
That starts with protecting quarterback Noah Fifita.
There were times where he was running for his life.
And bringing in an offensive coordinator, especially for him.
Seth Doege's offense gives this team the best position to win.
This place means so much to him.
There are 3 new coordinators and a revamped roster.
How do you get the right people in the right seats on the bus?
But has Brent Brennan done enough, or had enough time,
We've been on the job for, I think, 19 months now.
to put a winning Wildcat team on the field? We'll tackle the big storylines and meet some of the new players as Arizona tries to let everyone know it plans to contend this season. It's our Arizona Football 2025 season preview, Something to Prove. And welcome to Arizona Football 2025 season preview, Something to Prove. I'm KGUT9's Jason Barr. During this streaming special, my colleagues and I will help get you ready for the upcoming season. Brent Brennan's second on the Arizona sidelines.
From day one, when the season ended last year, it has been all about attacking this offseason, attacking this process.
Arizona made a lot of changes in the offseason, perhaps none bigger than the addition of offensive coordinator Seth Doege. The one-time Texas Tech QB was brought in to help rejuvenate the Wildcat offense and quarterback Noah Fifita.
He's so humble.
He's second to none.
He could have left.
New offensive coordinator Seth Doege was brought in to help make sure Noah Fifita didn't leave.
With the change in staff, obviously it might have helped a little. But the truth is he loves the University of Arizona, and he loves this community.
Fifita also likes winning, something he didn't do as much of in his second year as the starting quarterback. Enter Doege, once a top collegiate QB at Texas Tech. Last year, he helped Marshall to 10 wins and a Sun Belt Conference championship as its offensive coordinator. How does being a former quarterback help you help him?
I think it's huge. I'm not saying that you have to play quarterback to be offensive coordinator, to be a quarterback coach, but I do think it helps because you've been under fire. You know what it is when the bullets are flying at you. You know when the pocket collapses, what that feels like.
I mean, he just allows me to play free. He allows me to do what I do best, and that's play the quarterback position, play free, get the ball out of my hands, be accurate.
My thought process is like, what can I do to make sure that he's the most confident, well-prepared, and explosive athlete he can possibly be.
I think I'm confident with what we're going to do with our new offense where the ball is going to be distributed. The ball is going to be out of his hand. There's going to be enough variety and variation of people that he can distribute the ball to that gives us a chance to move the football the way we want to.
What have you learned about him? I think we all know he's a great guy who works pretty hard. But what about on the field? What has surprised you about maybe his skill set since taking over the job?
I didn't know how elite he was at throwing on the run. He can really create outside the pocket. He's very accurate.
Seth Doege said that he was impressed by your ability to throw on the run. He didn't know that about you. How does that make you feel?
I appreciate it for sure. I appreciate just Coach Doege and all that he's done for me.
It's the tightest relationship that I've had since I've coached. I consider Noah almost like a little brother now. I think that's where we are as in my mind and Noah's relationship was it's clicking.
It will take a group effort to replace the production of wide receiver Teteroa McMillan, so that's exactly what the Wildcats did. They brought in a group of new wide receivers this season. Senior Chris Hudson is the most accomplished. He caught 54 passes last season for nearly 700 yards while playing for Washington State. This after beginning his collegiate career at Oregon. Sophomore Trey Spivey spent last season with Kansas State, making 14 receptions. He's originally from Chandler, and also Spivey is the son of former Arizona Diamondback Junior Spivey. Senior Javen Watley, nicknamed Nunu, comes from FCS Tennessee Chattanooga, where he earned various All-American accolades. He once had a 54-yard catch and run against Alabama. They joined returning wideout junior Chris Hunter. Hunter came on strong at the end of last season and finished with 323 yards receiving. Here's how this will all help Noah Fifita.
We definitely rejuvenated that wide receiver room with a lot of returning guys and a lot of new guys we brought in the portal and from our freshman class who can all go. There's
going to be enough variety and variation of people that he can distribute the ball to that gives us a chance to move the football the way we want to.
It's the collective as a group. And I don't think it's not only just in the receiver room, but collectively across the board on this team. I think we've done a good job of trying to locate, identify our weaknesses, and then go and locate those players and find those guys and then recruit them and want them to be a part of this program. And the other part about that is the guys that we have here are guys that want to be here.
The Wildcats will induct Teteroa McMillan and former defensive back Randy Robbins into the Arizona Stadium Ring of Honor during the August 30th season opener against Hawaii. Danny Gonzalez is in his first season as defensive coordinator after spending last year as the special teams coordinator and linebackers coach. He also spent 4 years as the head coach at the University of New Mexico.
The one thing you're going to see is they're going to be a violent mentality. They're going to play hard, and we are going to be hard for people to prepare for on a weekly basis.
Are you someone who likes to blitz the quarterback a lot?
Absolutely. We're going to beat up some quarterbacks in this league. We will not allow people to run the football, which that's a mentality in of itself. And we have good enough guys in the secondary that if we can play some man coverage, we can do some really good things up front.
It's just the chip on the shoulder mentality that we've been attacking all the work with. You know, you show up every day, you got work, you got to get it done, but what's going to be your edge? And, you know, for a lot of us, whether it be transfers, guys that are still here, you know, we all want to go get something.
The third new coordinator for Arizona football this season is special teams coordinator Craig Naivar. Naivar spent the last 2 seasons as defensive coordinator at Coastal Carolina. He was nominated for the 2023 Broyles Award that's given annually to the nation's top assistant coach. Naivar has 32 years of coaching experience that includes time in the Big 12, SEC, and Pac-12. Ronnie Palmer is a new defensive assistant coach on this year's staff. Palmer is a one-time Arizona Wildcat team captain. He played here from 2005 to 2008, accumulating 275 tackles and leading the Wildcats to the 2008 Holiday Bowl. Most recently, Palmer was head coach at Monterey Peninsula College, where he led the school to 4 straight Gold Coast Conference championships.
I'm Addison Thomas. Arizona has a packed running back room with 6 on its roster, including a senior Ismail Mahdi, who has had quite the journey to Tucson.
I'm a refugee, came from Kenya 2003, and you know, just to make stuff happen for my family, and every day that they motivate me.
Mahdi, who grew up in Texas, is one of 8 siblings.
I got my older brothers showing me the way to do things, and I got my younger siblings looking up to me, and I got to show them how to do things. So it's been truly amazing to have those guys in my life. You know, they mean everything to me.
The running back, who describes his playing style as electric, found his love for the game at recess in elementary school.
One of my friends, you know, they were like, dude, you're really good at football, and I'm making moves faster than everybody else. They were like, man, you need to start playing organized sports. But I was like, I can't, you know, my parents are they just can't fund that right now. He was like, don't worry about it. My dad has a youth football league, and I would love you to come join and stuff like that. We'd pay for your cleats and pads.
It was an opportunity he's still so grateful for.
That's God, you know, just knowing that he has something for me, and I'm just thankful every day for that, for somebody like that to help me out.
He started his college career at Houston Christian, then playing the last 2 seasons at Texas State. During that time, he rushed 518 times for 2,890 yards and 16 touchdowns. In 2023, he led the nation in all-purpose yards with 2,169. Transferring here back in January.
I've been to 3 schools. I feel like this is the best school fitting into the culture and stuff like that. It's been truly, truly amazing.
Joining the running back room, which includes returner Kedrick Risano and transfer Quincy Craig.
It's amazing, man. Competing with those guys every day, they're making me better. We got very talented running back room.
Mahdi, listed at 5'9" and 184 pounds, will be trying to make an impact in an Arizona offense that only averaged 106.6 rushing yards a game last season. In the Big 12, only Colorado ran for fewer yards.
He's a very mature young man. You know, he's one of my favorites. Very good student, honor roll student, very mature. He brings a lot of just confidence into the room because he's an older guy.
Running backs coach Alonzo Carter also expecting to see his impact on special teams.
The specialist space is really where I think he's going to be dynamic. He's one of the best in the country as far as the return game, and he'll bring a different speed element to the backfield that we didn't have last year. So having him with that type of versatility would give Coach Daggy an opportunity to do some different things with him that you haven't seen.
As for what Mady wants Arizona fans to know about him,
Humble, hardworking young man that's ready just to get out there and play and make Arizona that team again.
The spread offense that Mady was part of at Texas State is similar to the one that offensive coordinator Seth Doege runs, something Mady says it should make for a smooth transition. Reporting from the University of Arizona, Madison Thomas, KCAL 9.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down. Turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
From a winless season to an Alamo Bowl winning season, defensive back Trayden Stukes has seen it all. He is set to enter his 6th season at the U of A after medically redshirting last year. He spoke with reporter Shaji Adam from our sister station at Big 12 Media Day.
6 years, how does that feel going into your 6th season?
It feels like it sounds. I've been here for a while. You know, my teammates all calling me Unc and stuff because it's true. It's true. I'm an old man in college years, so. But no, it's been good. It's been a up and down roller coaster on all my time here. And, you know, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's helped me grow as a player and as a man. So, you know, it's been a good one.
You were having a really good season last year before it unfortunately was cut short due to injury. How are you feeling? What was that process like to get back on the field?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling really good now. You know, like I said, it was a good growth opportunity for me. But yeah, shout out to my trainers and my strength staff. They've been doing a great job. I'm feeling great.
We kind of talked about you entering your 6th season. What is the biggest difference from year one to now, both on the field and off the field for you?
For me personally, year one, I was just a new guy trying to make my way. I really had no clue what to expect from college football. I didn't know what it really took to be a player, be a starter, be a leader on a college football team. But now, you know, going into my last year, I know, you know, my role on the team. I know how the coaches view me, how my teammates view me. And, you know, I take that role very seriously. You know, I try to come in with the right energy and attitude every day and, you know, try to learn how to, like, say the right things at the right times, you know, and just accept my role as a leader on the team.
For y'all, last season didn't go the way y'all wanted. So what are the personal expectations that you've set yourself for this team, and what are you hoping to see from them?
I've just been telling everyone today we're just trying to maximize our potential. I think we have a lot of talent and a lot of opportunity to be great, especially in this league. But as long as we're trying to reach our ceiling as a team and just continue to try to grow every week when the season comes and, you know, for the rest of this offseason, I think we'll have a good chance to be a good team.
I'm curious for you, for your last year, is there a game on this schedule that you're like, you know what, that's going to be good to see that one more time?
The team up north, that's always going to be my one. You know, I'm from the West Valley, so they're pretty close to where I'm from. And, yeah, that's always the one I'm looking for.
That's not even close to being a problem. Deshaun McKnight, 304 pounds, 6'3". Tia Savea, 311 pounds. Leroy Palu, 6'3", 305 pounds. Interior-wise, if we want to put our bigs out there and go big on big, no problem at all.
When the Arizona Wildcats kick off their season, they've got a new special teams player with ties to Cochise County.
The connection runs deep.
Ian Wagner may not have played football in Sierra Vista, but he calls it his hometown.
It's just very well rooted in my family, and it's a special place.
Ken and Sheila Wagner adopted Ian in 2003 while in Illinois.
Our adoption request said healthy newborn, so we didn't care what color. Klingon, Romulan, Martian, whatever.
Ken stationed at Fort Huachuca 3 times, all before Ian was born. But the Wagners knew they'd end up back in Cochise County, where they live now.
When they were growing up, we read all the Arizona books, so he felt he had roots out here.
Which is why Ian chooses to list Sierra Vista as his hometown.
I knew it always felt like home.
Despite only visiting a handful of times.
We always used to come down just on vacation from Illinois. I just remember it was always fun playing in the pool down there, and the community was always so great.
The redshirt senior played the last 4 seasons at Illinois State, primarily as their place kicker.
He has an extremely strong leg. If we played tomorrow, he'd be our kickoff guy.
Ian entering the transfer portal this past spring with 1 year of eligibility left.
I've always wanted to come back to Arizona. This is really special to be back now.
It wasn't until April Ian and his family knew he'd be playing football again, waiting for the right school to offer him a spot on their team.
We had already kind of thought, well, he's not going to get picked up anywhere, and it's like, okay, you'll graduate and then you'll do something else, but then God had a plan.
I've always wanted to play at a bigger school. It's always been a dream of mine, and U of A is a special place for me.
Having ties to Southern Arizona, making him stand out.
The connection of where he grew up was big because we'd always like to have local guys and guys represent the state that are from the state, and that's amazing. So it was just a perfect fit.
Last season, he had 44 touchbacks.
Very welcome addition, what we're doing. He's doing extremely well. He can fill some roles as a backup, and he can do some pretty good things when that ball gets teed up to start a football game.
Special teams jobs are still being earned. He's also competing to be the holder.
I'm a team guy first and foremost. Everybody wants to play. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to win. I think Coach Brennan does an excellent job in teaching us that.
The biggest reason he wanted to be a Wildcat.
Being adopted, my parents have always been super close with me. It just sucks going to a school so far away. My mom also is disabled, so she's not able to travel on long distances. Being only an hour away, it's huge for me because I've always wanted my parents to be at every single game, and it makes it possible now that I'm in the most ideal place in the country.
Sheila and Ken aren't sure how many trips to Tucson they'll make. One game already stands out.
He really wants us to come up for the senior night because we missed it in Illinois, obviously, because that would have been this spring, fall. But that would be the fun part. I think he would be excited about that.
When they're not at Arizona Stadium on game day.
Saturday nights are going to be rather quiet.
In front of the TV.
In front of the TV.
With 1 or 2 beers.
Sporting.
That's right,
the
wearing
right gear.
these shirts.
For Ian, being on the field means Southern Arizona kids have someone to look up to.
And growing up, I wasn't able to be in Sierra Vista personally, but I'm glad I got to come back and kind of pave the way.
Reporting at Arizona Stadium, Alexis Ramanjulu, KGUN 9.
One of the things that I tell the freshmen every year, and it's amazing because some will listen and some won't, is if you know what to do, you'll have a chance to play. Like if you just know what to do. And because the scheme, normally the playbook is expanded in all 3 phases, right? The detail, the technique has been elevated in all 3 phases. And so if those players will listen to that and really dive into knowing what to do, their job responsibility in special teams or offense or defense, those freshmen will have a chance to play. Right? And if a freshman is good enough to help us win football games, he's going to play. We're going to put him out there.
I'm Vanessa Gongora. Aiden Garnes has yet to play down for Arizona, but he's already scored big for someone he's never met.
Watching Aiden Garnes at practice, one would never know he was part of a conversion more impactful than any 2-point play.
Just a swab of the cheek has changed everything.
It was 3 years ago when Garnes was like any other student athlete on the Duquesne roster, trying to find playing time at his position of defensive back. It was then when one of his coaches, defensive coordinator Michael Craig, shared a story about a close friend who needed a transplant.
His roommate in college had needed a bone marrow transplant and couldn't find a recipient to get a match for. So he was on like his last months of living, and he ended up getting a match late. So me hearing that story and then knowing we had the drive coming up, like it was an automatic yes.
Garnes was inspired, but being a match was a long shot, a true Hail Mary.
But for African Americans, it's like an under 1% chance that I was even going to get picked, even going to be a match.
He beat the odds. 6 months later, he was a hero for a woman in her 20s who lived outside the U.S.
I ended up doing the surgery in Boston on January 4th. By the time I woke up from my surgery, her surgery was already done.
Garnes is forever connected to a stranger.
It's something that I'll never forget.
His journey didn't stop in Duquesne. He transferred to West Virginia University in 2024 before making his final stop at Arizona in 2025.
I chose here because I feel like it was the best spot for me personally. With the cornerbacks that were leaving and then the cornerbacks that were coming in, I felt like it was a good spot for me.
Arizona cornerbacks coach Chip Viney calls Garnes a true leader.
He goes out of his way. He does the things that we may not necessarily ask of him, and that's
That's what's really, really cool about Aiden.
That includes making an impact in his new community. He brought the National Marrow Donor Program Be the Match drive to the Arizona campus.
Having the guys out here and having everybody out here, even how nice these people are to take their time out and potentially save a life is one of the best things of this day.
How y'all doing? I can get 2 minutes of your time to potentially save a life?
The goal of the drive was to get 250 swabs. The Wildcats got 345.
And there has been people in this community that I found out does need bone marrow transplant. I found out one kid trying to get more information on it. He has a heart and a mind, for others, and that was at the last place, and it's extended to this place, and that's something that we're blessed to have in our program. Young men like Aiden Garnes.
Till this day, Garnes is still working hard to meet the woman who has a piece of him.
I'm still trying to get in contact with her. I've been a little slower since I've been in camp, but I'm still talking to those people, still trying to get as much information as I can so I can meet her in person one day.
Arizona's Chief of Staff Ben Thenis says they plan to keep the bone marrow donor drive going each spring. Reporting from Arizona Stadium, Vanessa Gongora, KGUN 9.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
Position battle. It's a staple of training camp, except this year at quarterback, it is Noah Fifita's job. But the Wildcats do have a backup plan. Number 8, Braden Locke was brought in to be the number 2 quarterback. He started 9 games for Wisconsin last year, threw 13 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. Here's why he says he went to a team that already had an established QB in Fifita.
In the portal, a lot of it's just about timing, and Arizona was just kind of a place that came in at the right time for me. Coach Daigie and I had just an established relationship going back to when I was in high school and he was at USC. That had a lot to do with it. And then obviously, you're confident in yourself, you're confident in this team, you believe this team can be special and do special things, and I wanted to be a part of it.
All right, the year was 2012. The hit song was Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen. And Texas Tech put out a song called Call Me Daigie for their Heisman hopeful quarterback, so people would learn how to pronounce his name.
All right, you became kind of a star during the Call Me Maybe song back in 2012, so that's how people learned to pronounce your name, Seth Daigie. What's the strangest way your name has ever been pronounced?
Doigi, probably. That's the one that comes to mind. It's almost impossible to get it right. Obviously there's some German Dutch to it. If you ask my grandma, like, why is there no, like, A-Y, or where is the A come from? And then she has this book of all these little dots and different ways to spell it, and she explains it a little bit. But when I was younger, a telemarketer would call the house, and my dad, who's a coach, and he's a pretty disciplined, like old school, like hard-nosed defensive coordinator coach. So like, think of like Bud Kilmer, Varsity Blues, right? Like this dude, like you don't wear your hat backwards, your shirt better be tucked in, there's no earrings, blah, blah, blah. He would answer it, and they would say, is Randy Dodge there? And he would scream into the phone, it's Daigie, and hang it up. And
how much do you correct people?
I don't correct. I'm just like, hey, by the way, if it's needed, I'll correct you. If not, then whatever.
I'm Pat Paris outside of Arizona Stadium. The Arizona Wildcats will kick off their 128th season of playing college football, and they'll do it for the 67th time with Wilbur T. Wildcat as their mascot. Here now a look back at the evolution of Wilbur Wildcat.
Once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat.
Bill Wainick knows all about being a Wildcat, Wilbur T. Wildcat.
Provide energy, I guess, for the team, for the crowd.
He was Arizona's mascot from 1988 to 1992, but there was a time when Arizona didn't have a nickname or a mascot. In the early days of football, Arizona was simply known as the Varsity.
But in 1914, after giving Occidental College a tough game, a Los Angeles Times sports reporter wrote, "The Arizona men showed the fight of Wildcats. The nickname stuck. The next season, Arizona debuted its mascot."
It was an actual live bobcat.
Yeah, Rufus, right?
Yes, a real Wildcat named Rufus Arizona after the school president at the time, Rufus B. von Kleinschmidt. He was purchased in 1915 by the freshman football team, but Rufus died in April of 1916 after falling from a tree. Decades later, two students came up with the idea for the first costume mascot. On November 7, 1959, he was introduced at a football game against Texas Tech. Wilbur was an instant hit. In the early days, Wilbur looked more like a craft project, but as the years went by, the costume evolved and so did the Wildcat persona.
And so you could do a lot of fun things. You could just be extremely extrovert.
A self-described introvert, Bill Wainick answered a 1988 ad in the Daily Wildcat and auditioned for the role of Wilbur at a women's basketball game.
I think what put me over the top was Bangles' Walk Like an Egyptian was on, and so I started dancing, and I danced much better in costume.
In the late 80s and early 90s, Bill shaped Wilbur into the mascot we see today. Long gone were Wilbur's six-shooters, replaced by a more appropriate look.
Wilbur needs a jersey. I talked the equipment room into getting me a jersey and giving me number 00 for the football jersey, and had Wilbur T. Wildcat on the back. And I think it was well received.
Bill started signing autographs Wilbur T. Wildcat, the T standing for the. He also started wearing an Arizona jersey at basketball games with the number 99.
Thought that Wilbur should have Chuck Taylors, so I got the red Converse going.
The physical nature of performing in a costume came at a cost.
At football games, I sweat probably at least 10 pounds every single time.
Wilbur doesn't go at it alone. His wife, Wilma Wildcat, is usually by his side. But according to Bill, she came into existence because of a costume mistake. In 1986, a new Wilbur costume arrived with a much more feminine look to it.
That's not Wilbur. That costume created Wilma.
Bill believes Wilma would have eventually been added, but the costume mix-up accelerated Wilbur getting a life partner. Wilbur's had several scuffles with other mascots over the years. For Bill,
I had a beef with Oski, the bear from Cal.
A run-in during an Arizona-Cal football game ended with Oski's head spinning around and the two mascots being pulled apart. Bill points out that the people playing Wilbur and Wilma aren't on scholarship. They don't have NIL deals. That's why he created the Wilbur and Wilma T. Wildcat Endowed Scholarship Fund to support students serving as the mascots. Bill recently retired after a long career in the Air Force. His call sign was, of course, Wilbur. And you'll find him at Arizona home games, no longer in costume, but still just as passionate.
If people are being quiet where we're sitting, I'll clap a little louder, or I'll start yelling a little bit more, and just in hopes that people will join in.
Proving once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat, and proving Wilbur Wildcat is absolutely Arizona.
All right, before we say goodbye, Arizona football is tackling inflation this year. The prices at several items at the concession stands will be cut in half. Hear it from Associate AD Tony Daniel.
And which items are those?
Yeah, so hot dogs, popcorn, nachos will all be $4, and water and sodas, fountain sodas, will be $3. Yep.
And Arizona football is adding some on-field cabanas for the upcoming season. It's right on the field at Arizona Stadium, seating 16 to 20 people. There are high-top couches, drink rails, and premium food buffets. Pricing starts just over $25,000 for the season, but you're super close to the action and right next to the team bench. All right, that's a wrap for our Arizona football 2025 season preview, Something to Prove. For all of us at KGUN 9, I'm Jason Barr. We'll see you here at Arizona Stadium.